Hello, Westford! The Board of Health is strengthening the town's tobacco regulations. The Story Walk project has kids reading outdoors. And pickleball is trending big in Westford. I'm Christina Liedberg, Assistant Director at the JV Fletcher Library and a guest host for this week's news program. Stay tuned for WestfordCAT News. Health Director Jeff Stevens proposed an amendment to the town's tobacco regulations on July 11th to prevent cigarettes, e-cigarettes, and vaping devices from being carried on school grounds.
No student at any time shall possess any tobacco product, tobacco paraphernalia in any school building, on any school ground, at any athletic event, or any school-sponsored event, or in any school bus or other vehicle used for school purposes.
Okay.
Stevens said the impetus for the change came at the request of Westford Academy School Resource Officer, who wanted the enforcement regulations strengthened. Stevens will revise the amendment for the board to approve at the next meeting. Once approved, the measure would take effect on September 1st. To watch the entire Board of Health meeting, visit westfordcat.org. Here's News Director Joyce Polino Crane with a highlight from the Selectmen's meeting.
Thanks, Christina. Selectmen suspended the liquor license of the Westford package store for 5 days after it faced a second violation for selling alcohol to a minor with a fake out-of-state identification card. Here's Sergeant Gregory Marchand explaining what happened.
Dating back to June 4th, a little over a month ago, an unmarked police vehicle operated by an undercover detective that works for the department was monitoring the area of Littleton Road. At that time, he observed a gentleman, young gentleman, that he believed to be under 21, exiting 175 Littleton Road carrying a brown paper bag, presumably with alcohol in it. At that time, he observed the gentleman get into a vehicle. He subsequently followed the vehicle. This is about 10 o'clock in the evening. The vehicle proceeded to pull behind Pets, which is 8 Carlisle Road, closed at the time. He followed the vehicle in, saw the gentleman moving about inside the vehicle, so he pulled up behind the vehicle, subsequently made contact. Nobody in the car was 21 years of age. He did see alcohol in the vehicle. The gentleman in the vehicle, who were from Carlisle, admitted to purchasing the alcohol at 175 Littleton Road. He produced a counterfeit Connecticut driver's license to the officer, said he used it inside the store, and he'd used it several times before as well at the same location. Upon a follow-up by the detectives with the owner and the clerk that night, Mr. Shaw, he admitted that the gentleman did purchase the alcohol there. He did provide the video from the store that showed the transaction. He produced the ID. There was no second form of ID requested on the out-of-state, so that might have been an issue there. And we noted that it was the second violation at that location in the past couple of years.
And here is Selectman Andrea Perriner-Sweet chastising co-owner Deepan Shah for the store's second offense.
The fact that at least it is alleged that this happened 3 times in the past with the same person and the same ID is concerning to me. It's also concerning to me, to be perfectly honest, that you didn't ask for a second ID. No matter how good the license and the forgery would have been, you're supposed to ask for a second ID when it's an out-of-state license, and you didn't do that. That is concerning to me, and it seems to me that if you haven't already, all of your folks need to be retrained, emphasized, or whatever, that anytime an out-of-state license is presented, you need to ask for a second ID. I mean, that just should happen immediately, no matter what. So that is concerning to me, as well as that basically you didn't do that. And I think installing the scanners is a good idea, and that you should do that going forward. But from my perspective, this is a second offense, and it does call for a 5-day suspension of your business, and I at least am going to be recommending and supporting that we implement the 5-day suspension on you folks.
The store will be closed on July 19th and 24th and August 2nd, 7th, and 16th. Selectmen Tom Clay and Mark Cost were absent. To watch the entire meeting, visit westfordcat.org. Back to you, Christina.
Just a reminder, the Ride for Live, Run for Live event takes place on Sunday, July 15th. Born out of a domestic violence tragedy, the event is meant to be a celebration of life. Runners and bike riders will gather at the 4-H fairgrounds beginning at 8 a.m. and compete in a 5K race or walk and 3 different bike rides of different lengths, all to raise needed funds for victims of domestic violence. The Ride Run honors the memory of Olivia Liv Marchand, who died at age 17 in 2010 from a gunshot wound. Her mother, Jody Marchand, founded the Live for Live Foundation and now speaks around the region to raise awareness of signs of domestic violence.
And every year, some of the proceeds go to Alternative House in Lowell. That's a shelter for victims of domestic violence. And here's an example of what we did this year.
Right. We gave $10,000 to Alternative House. And I would love to do more, if possible. You know, the more people we have attending, the better, the more sponsors that we can get. It's going to a cause that's near and dear to my heart. We also are able to give scholarships, excuse me, to a couple of seniors at Westford Academy. My daughter Olivia was a senior, ready to graduate.
Let's talk about Olivia. So she was a senior at Westford Academy in February 2010 when she was tragically killed in an act of domestic violence.
Yes, yeah.
And you were injured critically, and you were in the hospital for months, right?
Right. I mean, yes. I was shot in my left temple. The bullet shattered my jaw and now sits in my right shoulder. So I was for months, well, they didn't know if I'd make it to the night. Plus, for months I had to have my jaw wired shut. So, but I have recovered the best I can. I was a victim of what's called emotional abuse. I was not physically abused. People assume that's, when you hear domestic violence, they assume that's all it is. And it truly is not just that. What happened, emotional abuse is about power and control. And whether it's, control over your, money you spend or where you go or who you're with, and it's all kinds of things that I could talk about, for a long time.
To register for the event or to make a donation afterward, visit liveforlive.org. And now for our feature of the week. Pickleball is the trendiest sport to take over the town since cornhole. Now boomers are finding their way to the Millworks in Westford to play pickup games with an introductory membership. This month, the court is open weekdays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on weekends from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pickleball is played with a wiffle ball and paddle to resemble an intermediate form of tennis and ping pong. The sport combines the fast-paced movement of tennis with the mental agility and concentration of table tennis. Popular with senior citizens and baby boomers, the Cameron Senior Center offers the activity as well as Millworks. It's now starting to draw younger players too. For more information, visit millworkswestford.com or westfordmass.gov and click on the Council on Aging link. Librarians at the J.V. Fletcher Library have posted pages of Candace Fleming's children's book, Muncha Muncha Muncha, around the perimeter of the Westford Community Garden. It's part of a fast-growing movement called the Story Walk Project. The Story Walk Project, founded by Annie Ferguson of Montpelier, Vermont, and developed in collaboration with the Kellogg Hubbard Library in Montpelier, engages children in a storybook while walking outdoors. The pages are protected by laminate and displayed at checkpoints so the children can pause and read. A yellow journal is mounted at the end of the stroll for visitors to log their visits. To learn more about the library's programs, visit westfordlibrary.org. Here's Town Manager Jody Ross with Selectmen Elizabeth Almeida and community activist Patty Mason, coming to you from the Community Gardens in Westford.
Hi, I'm Jody Ross, Westford's town manager, and this week I'm taking you out to our community garden. And with me I have Selectman Elizabeth Almeida and Patty Mason. So Elizabeth, tell us what's going on at the garden this year.
We're having a terrific year at the garden. We have about 150 families participating in the community garden. We've filled up all the plots, so we're off to a good start. Folks are taking home a lot of food, and we're making weekly donations to the food pantry as well. We'd like to invite the community to visit the garden on August 9th. In the afternoon from 3 to 4, town employees and board members are invited. And then in the evening from 6 to 7, we invite the greater community to stop by and see what's growing here.
That's awesome. Now, Patty, tell us about your garden this year.
My garden is over here, and we have growing lots of things, and there's 4 of us doing it, which sometimes helps relieve some of the work, especially for us older people. And we're growing all kinds of vegetables, and like you say, giving them to the senior center. And I was there on Monday when many of the seniors received our vegetables, and they couldn't believe the things that we were giving them already, type of thing. Also, we have the pumpkin patch that we grow all the pumpkins for the town departments that we give in October, and weekly we give out education information through the forum for the gardeners. So it's really a fun place. All kinds of ethnic foods, regular vegetables. We're learning a lot.
So Elizabeth, I hear you have a very big garden this year. So tell us about the garden and show us a couple of your vegetables.
I do. I may have gotten carried away. We're calling this our French garden because we've laid it out in a circular pattern. And right in the center we have some mammoth sunflowers. We have pole beans that are climbing up the sunflowers. And in the spirit of the Three Sisters Gardens, we put some squash in the middle. And then in this triangle we have haricot verts, keeping with the French garden theme. A lot of haricot verts going, bordered by red Russian kale. And we are also growing a second variety of kale called Toscano kale, and we have a red cabbage right in the center there. And then we have 2 types of pole beans. These with the purple flowers are rattlesnake pole beans, which will be a variegated purple and green color. And then our second trellis, or the first trellis in the garden there, will be yard-long red noodle beans. So we grow some old favorites that we always like, such as tomatoes and cucumbers, and then every year we like to try out some different varieties as well.
I know this garden has been here a couple of years now, but can you tell our residents how they can become involved and become farmers themselves?
Sure. So the gardening application process starts in January, and the application is available on the town website, so folks can go there and even join our email list from the town website right now. And we'll notify you in January when applications are available. And then we have a mandatory meeting in April, and the garden opens at the end of April.
What does it cost, Elizabeth, to have a plot?
A 15 by 15 garden plot is $25, and you can take up to 4 of those per family.
That's great. Well, I'm going to come back and help her weed a little bit so I can maybe take home some vegetables. But thank you very much, Elizabeth, for joining us today. Sure. So this is Jody Ross saying goodbye for this week. I'm going to go home and clean my carrots and have a little snack. So thank you for joining us in Westford's Community Garden.
In March, we featured Jada, a pit bull terrier mix who was available for adoption at the Lowell Humane Society because her previous owner was unable to keep her. Jada is still in need of a loving home. Here's Patty Stalker with more.
Meet Jada, a 7-year-old pit bull terrier mix with lots of energy and love to spare. Here's Lowell Humane Society volunteer Roger Logaman with more.
This is Jada. Jada is 7 years old. She's been here at the shelter since the end of March. She's a pit bull, spayed female pit bull. She's really a sweetheart with people. Come here. Come here, you. Come here. She's pretty reactive to other dogs, so she'll want to be the only dog in the house. Jada, sit. Jada, sit. Good girl. Good girl. She has a very gentle mouth when you feed her. You're such a good girl. Like most of the dogs here, they're trained to the sound of the plastic bag. That signifies treat. She'll sit. Won't you? Huh? You just sit right down for that plastic bag. and she plays kind of hard sometimes, so we would have her in a house with older kids, teens and up. She's very good on the leash. She loves her walks, loves to run around in the play yard. First thing in the morning, if we turn her loose in the play yard, she'll just run from one end to the other, kind of wear herself out that way, which suggests to me that she probably wants a house with a backyard if that's possible. The reason she was surrendered was that her owner became pregnant and really wasn't going to have the time necessary to devote to the dog and a baby, and so she had to give up the dog.
If you'd like to learn more about Jada or any of the other pets looking for a new home at the Lowell Humane Society, or if you'd like to volunteer, donate, foster a pet, or fill their wish list, visit their website at lowellhumanesociety.org. They're located at 951 Broadway Street in Lowell. Call 978-452-7781. You can also find them on Facebook. For Westford Cat, I'm Patty Stalker.
Here's Rekha Sharma with another health tip.
Hi everyone, I'm Rekha Sharma, back with a new health tip for WestfordCAT News. Today I'm going to talk about home remedies for sunburn. Summer is the time of the year that excessive exposure to heat or sun rays can cause irritation of the skin. In home remedies, applying aloe vera gel to the affected areas provides relief. If you have burning sensation on the face, apply sandalwood face pack in rose water. You can also mix rose water with cucumber juice in equal amounts and spray it on your face. Rubbing cold watermelon and cucumber to the affected areas also provides relief. Stay hydrated and drink coconut water. If you have any allergies, please contact your PCP before consuming or applying. I'll be back with a new health tip. Bye for now.
Let's see what weather.com is forecasting for the upcoming week. And don't forget that WestfordCAT honorary meteorologist Terry Eliason has a weather website just for Westford at westford.com/weather. You can also find a link to it at westfordcatnews.org. Eliason is an Emmy Award-winning meteorologist and the executive weather producer for WBZ. Here's WestfordCAT volunteer Betsy Alvarez with suggestions for things to do in the area.
Thanks, Christina. The Lookouts Band will play from 4 to 6 p.m. on the Common on July 22nd as part of the Westford Recreation Summer Concert Program. The event is free of charge. Just bring a chair and picnic dinner and enjoy the music. For more information, visit westfordrec.com. A 6-week beginner ballroom dance class begins July 26 at 7 p.m. The Rodenbush Community Center activity takes place at D&E School of Dance, 66 Princeton Street, North Chelmsford. In this class, beginners will learn the waltz, foxtrot, rumba, and swing in a relaxed and easy atmosphere. The cost is $105. Register at rodenbush.org. Chip Rascal will build a giant balloon sculpture at the JV Fletcher Library on July 23rd at 1 p.m. The program is free and no registration is required. And by the way, the summer reading programs at the library are really heating up. They have programs for children, young adults, and adults to help them reach their reading goals. Join them for weekly prizes and all sponsored by the Friends of the JV Fletcher Library, Inc. For more information, visit westfordlibrary.org. This is Betsy Alvarez, a WestfordCAT volunteer. Back to you, Christina.
That's it for now, Westford. We leave you with the images from the media camp we held here at WestfordCAT last month for young students. We'll have another session on August 13th through the 17th. Contact rodenbush.org to register.